Ladies, gentlemen, Speakerhead Squad, what is going on? It is your boy Speakerhead, and welcome back to another video. When it comes to the original G1 cartoon, there are many memorable characters that people love. One of those characters that people have a love for is going to be Jetfire or Skyfire, depending on what you call him. Personally, I absolutely love the character. I love how he was the first really big, massive transformer to be added to the cartoon. Just his size alone easily turned the tide of battles. So when I found out that Newage was going to be making a version of Jetfire, I knew I had to pick this guy up. And not to spoil too much, but I really do love this figure and I really want to make a video talking about him. But before we get into the video, I want to mention to you guys, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Also, if you enjoy any of the music in this video, it's all part of my royalty-free music label, Speakerhead Studios. All the music in this label is completely royalty-free, so go ahead and use it for any of your content creating needs. But finally, I want to mention, if you guys ever want to catch me live, I do stream over at YouTube on Speakerhead Live, so go check that out. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Quickly talking about the accessories for his figure, it's only going to come with one, and that's going to be his signature blaster. The overall sculpt on it is nice, but it isn't painted at all. So now let's talk about the figure. So the first thing I want to mention, it is pretty obvious, is this guy is massive for a legend scale figure. I'll throw up a photo right now with Jetfire and a few other figures so you guys can really see how massive this guy is. He sits at about 18 centimeters or 7 inches tall in robot mode, so that's pretty tall for a legend scale figure. It's completely understandable though, because he was a massive character in the show, so he needed a massive figure as well. Talking about the paint job on this guy, it's a little different than your average Newage figure. Instead of being painted head to toe, he's overall just a plain white plastic, which looks nice overall, but it does look a little bland. Overall, it doesn't look terrible, but it is lacking compared to what we generally get with Newage. However, it does have nice silver and red painted details all over the figure. Some of the spots that are going to be painted are going to be his face and the blue streak on his head, the red line on his chest, the silver grills, the red on his crotch plate, and the red on the side of his legs. But even with the lack of paint, this figure still looks fantastic overall. Now talking a bit about the sculpt of the figure, it is fantastic. Newage definitely knocked it out of the ballpark with this mold because this guy looks like you pulled him straight out of the screen. I will admit there are a couple ugly screws, but I personally don't mind them too much. Overall, from a 360 view, you guys can see that this guy looks fantastic all the way around. He might look a little thin if you don't include his backpack, but with the backpack, I think it looks alright. And I think if you made him any wider, he would just topple over too easily. But overall, I absolutely love the sculpt of this guy. I've always personally wanted a Jetfire figure, so I'm so happy that Newage finally came out with one. Now talking about the posability of this guy, and it is also incredible. His head is on a swivel that can look left, right, and up, and that's about it, sadly. When it comes to his arms, they can go all the way 90 degrees outward, and then they can rotate all the way around, but they do get in the way of the wings. He also has a really good ab crunch, and I absolutely love it. It is fantastic, and because he's such a large figure, it is mostly covered up whenever you're trying to get poses with him. Talking about the elbows, they're able to bend about 90 degrees, but if you move that extra little piece out of the way, you can bend it slightly more than that. It's nothing crazy, but it'll definitely get the job done for whatever pose you want it to do. Then his legs can pretty much go 90 degrees forward and back as far as you would ever need. I do want to mention where the legs attach to the hips, it's cool because the crotch plate actually does move with the leg when you move it. I thought it was a nice thing to add so that way it didn't get in the way of posability. When it comes to his knees, he has one of the best double jointed knees I have ever seen. You can pretty much fold them completely flat, which is insane because you're really able to get them into some fantastic poses because of it. Talking about the feet, they do have an ankle rocker and they are able to pivot up and down, so that is very nice. But overall, the articulation on this guy is fantastic, and because of all this, you're able to get him into some insanely awesome poses. Right now, I'll throw a few different pictures up just showing all the different poses you can get this guy in. So now let's talk about the transformation. When it comes to the transformation, it is enjoyable, but there are a couple tricky parts. The main problem I had, and you'll see in a little bit here, is that I had difficulty flipping the backpack over and lining it up so that way all the stuff compacted into it. I will say most of the difficulty is because I'm holding in front of a camera, so it is quite difficult to do that and transform the figure, especially since he is so large for a legend scale figure. But when it comes to the transformation, I overall really enjoy it, and I think it's a fantastic transformation for the figure. So once you finally get him into his alt mode, it looks fantastic for what it is. I absolutely love those bright blue cockpits for the vehicle mode. I will say I'm not a huge fan of one of them being painted, but obviously because of the transformation it has to be like that. It's a little unfortunate, but I understand it. However, I do absolutely love the front cockpit, how it actually has little driver's seats in it. I think it was an awesome little touch Newage added to the figure, and I think it also looks great in the robot mode as well. Something else I want to mention is I love how they added bigger thrusters that go over the smaller die-cast thrusters. I thought that was a really nice touch they added to the vehicle mode. But here's a couple quick comparison photos with him, Cyclonus, and Skywarp, all made by Newage. So when it comes to my final thoughts for this figure, I absolutely love it. Even though it's probably the most expensive Legend scale figure I've personally ever bought, I absolutely love it and I would never regret buying it. This guy just looks absolutely amazing head to toe. He feels amazing, he's built sturdy, he has fantastic joints. I absolutely love everything about him. I also absolutely love how it looks in both robot mode and vehicle mode. Both modes just look fantastic. And also the transformation is just super fun to do, and I could honestly do it over and over again. And then finally going back to the posability, it is fantastic for what it is. You can pretty much get this guy into any pose you want him to with no issue. I've been having so much fun posing this guy, and every single photo I take of him is just fantastic. This figure is just so photogenic, and it absolutely looks awesome in any collection. But when it comes to this figure, I highly recommend picking him up because he is just fantastic. I will say he is an extremely expensive Legend scale figure, so definitely keep that in mind. In fact, he is about the same price as many Masterpiece figures out there, so it is completely understandable why people wouldn't want to go pick him up. I will say if you can get him for a discount price, definitely do it because I highly recommend him and I promise you won't regret it. But that's all my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you already have them or if you plan on picking them up. Once again, if you guys enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Also, if you guys enjoyed any of the music in this video, it's all part of my royalty-free music label, Speakerhead Studios. Link in the description. Other than that, that's going to be it for me, guys, so I'll catch all y'all in the next one. Peace!